Good day, everyone. My name is Dixon DeGilius, and I'm here to do a persuasion speech. And in the realm of football, there's a lot of key components to the game. A lot of people tend to just focus on the players. You have people like Messi, you have people like Ronaldo, dominate headlines, and there's other unheralded players like Thomas Mueller, Bayern Munich, or Germany, or defenders like Thiago Silva, or goalkeepers like Manuel Neuer and Peter Cech and Jordan Pickford of England. And a lot of people overlook the fact that there has to be someone to manage all these players. Someone has to put them in position in order to succeed, whether it's defending or whether it's to score goals. Soccer isn't just about scoring goals and defending, it's about strategy. And that person in charge of strategy is what's called the manager, or probably in US terms is the coach. And their job is to make sure the players are ready to go, make sure they know what the strategy is, what tactics are they going to use on the pitch to succeed the best they can. Whether it's counter-attacking football, which is playing defensively and then waiting for a moment to counter-attack and score a goal that way, or rather they're being aggressive by holding the ball and making sure they keep as much possession as they can before scoring to make sure the other team doesn't have an opportunity. And in the realm of managers, especially here in the Premier League, there's a lot of debate on who is the greatest manager of all time, especially in the Premier League, because the Premier League has been long one of the most competitive and one of the most hard leagues to play in. But there's one manager that I believe that rose above them all. Yes, better than Jurgen Klopp, better than Pep Guardiola over there at Manchester City right now, and better than Arsene Wenger, all-time legend at Arsenal, and even better than the special one himself, Jason Mourinho. And that man's name is Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson came into Manchester United in 1986, and he retired in 2013. He is one of the most decorated managers of all time, winning a total of 46 trophies. And according to the PremierLeague.com, he won 13 Premier Leagues, which is literally more than Arsenal, which was managed by Arsene Wenger, Chelsea, and many other clubs in its 100-year history. And so by the numbers, he's one of the most successful managers of all time. And so what made him so great is that he was a master tactician. He was able to put the players in their best positions, and he was not afraid to let go of people that weren't willing to see his vision. There were a couple instances, for example, with fan favorites like Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, and most famously, David Beckham. He wanted people that were there to focus on the team and focus on the success of the club. Most clubs would try to keep their best player and keep them happy because they think they have the best chance of succeeding. But Sir Alex Ferguson introduced the idea of teamwork and helped revolutionize the soccer that way. And so he was able to move on from players that didn't want to be there and introduce a young crop of players and mold them to what he needed to them to be. A famous example of this was 1992, when he let go of several star players and introduced the world into Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, and Nicky Butt, and many others. This was a gamble that he had to take that no other manager was willing to take, but that set up the foundation for his success in the Premier League. It started with his first Premier League title all the way up to when he retired in 2013. He showed that same pattern. Another reason why he is one of the best of all time is that he currently holds the most wins in Premier League history at 528 wins in a span of 23 seasons. Like I said earlier, he was by far the most successful, winning 13 leagues, winning 528 wins. But no other manager is even close to having as many wins as him. The next closest one, according to the Bleacher Report, is Arsene Wenger at 478. Sir Alex Ferguson ranks first of all time in the Premier League wins, which just showed how dominant he was. He rarely lost back-to-back games, and he rarely lost during the regular season. And head to head with these other managers, he has an overall winning record with them. Another reason why he's the greatest manager of all time in Premier League history is that he was able to manage divas. Like I mentioned earlier, he was able to kick out Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. A famous incident was when David Beckham started dating Posh Spice of the Spice Girls. He started to become a diva, and he was starting to distract the team from football. They were starting to ask questions outside of football, which Sir Alex Ferguson did not like. And so he confronted David Beckham and was not afraid to lay into him. It ended up in the sale of David Beckham moving to Real Madrid, which at the time was considered controversial because he had literally just sold one of his best players. But Sir Alex Ferguson did not lose any momentum. He continued to win a Premier League title without David Beckham and without Roy Keane, without Eric Cantona, who had set the foundations for him in his early years. He was able to buy and acquire or even groom homemade talent. You have people like Anderson, you have people like Wayne Rooney, Rio Ferdinand, the next generation of people that he was proceeded to win more Premier League titles. Even players like Nemanja Vidic, whom he bought, that no one had ever heard of and thought he was going to be a bust. But those are the reasons why I think Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest manager of all time. Not Arsene Wenger, not Pep Guardiola, not Jose Mourinho. And this is why you should consider him, because he has the most wins. He has just as many titles as some of the clubs that those managers have managed. And this is all.